Good morning, students. This is our lesson for gains and losses for number sense, lesson 86, page 132, 133. So we're going to be talking about integers and positives and negatives for the next little while, or this week specifically. And our focus will be on being able to understand when we have positives and negatives interacting with each other, what's the end result. So positives are reflected as having a positive sign, negatives are reflecting as a negative sign. This is also addition and subtraction. And we're going to learn over the course of this short unit that a positive and addition is the same idea, and a negative and subtraction is the same idea. So when we do positives, we'll be writing something like this, or gains is another way of saying positives. So we're going to do plus 3, and then this will be a negative 2. Okay, and so if I were to do this question, I have plus 3 subtract 2. That's going to overall give me a plus 1. So if I were to look at this as an idea, gains are whenever I have additions or whenever I have positives in front of my numbers, and losses when I have subtractions or negatives. If I put this idea all together, my overall here is this is a gain of 1 because I have a plus 1 at the end. So I have plus 3, subtract 2, and that gives me a plus 1 at the end. Now, what I can do is if I have a series of gains and losses, and I can start crossing out the ones that I have already done. So I have a long string of gains and losses, or addition and negatives. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start tabulating them in my mind. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with positives first, and then I'm going to do negatives after. So I have 3. So I'm going to start with 3. I'm going to add 4. So that's 7. I'm going to add 6. That is 13. And I'm going to add 8. And that is 21. So now I'm at 21 positive. And now I'm going to see what I have as negative. 2, negative 2, negative 5, negative 6. And then I just combine these things together, and that's going to give me a gain of 15. All right, so what I did was I did all my positives first, and then I did all my negatives, and then I combined them, and I have 15. Now I can also do, I can cancel. So here I have a series of gains and losses, and I can start canceling things out. Now, how do I cancel it out? I want to cancel anything that equals 0 together. So I have plus 8 here, and I have negative 8. So what I can do actually is I can cancel these two things out and say, well, those are 0 together. And I have negative 5 and plus 5. Those are zeros together. So actually all I need to look at is this right here, which is plus 2 subtract 1, plus 2 subtract 1, and that's going to give me an overall gain of 1. So there's a couple different strategies you can have here. It's really just a method. You sort of have to go through a process, and if you're following the process, then you'll get the correct answers. Whenever you interact, when any negatives are going to cause negatives adding on to each other is going to make a bigger negative. Positives combining with each other is going to make a bigger positive. And then when those two things interact, you have to sort of come up with an answer. So what we're going to be looking at is on page 132 and 133, numbers 1 through 3, 4 every other one, 6 and 7 every other one. If you have any questions, please send me a message on Teams.